Absolutely.
Well,
All right. Turn that music down just a little bit while I speak about our kind of theme or direction we're headed today with our practice. Over the weekend, when I was, gathering up my thoughts to create a lesson plan, the word that kept coming in was faith. And of course, when I kept hearing that word, I just went to George Michael, because you gotta have faith, faith, faith. And I actually went back to listen to the song because I was like, I remember it was a big hit. I haven't heard it in years. What was that song about? So I went back and listened to it and I read the lyrics and I was like, oh, okay, it's about a relationship, So that particular song is about a relationship and how he's discovering, for whatever reason, he shouldn't be in that relationship. Can't remember why, as far as the lyrics are concerned, but it was about having the faith in yourself when you are leaving that state of union with someone. Just like we can have faith in entering a relationship with someone. So faith can come on either end of the spectrum. Faith is having complete confidence or trust in yourself or someone or something. It doesn't have to be a binding towards a particular religion, so faith can be many different ways and terms. So I want you today, while we're going through our practice, to consider how you're developing a sense of faith in yourself as you're exploring these postures, as you're utilizing your breath, as you're connecting to source energy inside, as you hopefully connect to your higher self, so that you can have faith in yourself, you can have faith in your strength, you can have faith in your own sense of confidence, and faith in what is possible in your own capabilities. We are going to be building up for an arm balance today. So with an arm balance in mind, consider where your inner dialogue goes. Susan and I were talking right before class started, and she was mentioning a friend that she may want to recommend coming, and she was like, can someone just, come to a class? And I was like, yes, because you just got to start somewhere, and whatever class you go to, you can discover what you're capable of, and you can always dial it up or dial it down, right? Depending on, how you're feeling and what's being presented through that practice, and then learning a little bit about the styles and what they're offering. But I also mentioned to her when I first started, I entered to a class. I didn't know there were differences in yoga. I just went to one and I laughed at myself because the teacher came over laughing at me, not in a mean way, in a joking way, because I was doing the pose completely wrong. I didn't have a lot of body awareness. And she was saying, okay, you got to move your hips. And I laughed and looked at my body and said, I don't have any hips. I have a tomboy figure. Right? It's a little self-deprecating, isn't it? Like the things that we say and we don't even think about it. And she was like, everybody has hips. You just have to learn to move your hips. And I was in my early 20s at that time. And, that was a really good lesson for me in that moment on the mat of how my thoughts were going when she said that. And then her coming back and correcting it, saying, no, I meant this, So anyway, we're going to start with our hips, and we're going to start with a pose that usually we do a little bit later in the practice, and I know it's early. We're going to start with pigeon. With that being said, if your knee or hip is cranky this morning, you can always turn to your back and modify, of course, this way. So we're starting with our left leg in front. And when you come into this shape where the knee is slightly looking over towards the left side of the mat, your right foot's in front of or left foot rather, in front of your right leg. Kind of even out your hips here. Lower down to Sphinx arms. And once you lower down to Sphinx arms, you're not going to be rocking your hips, but you're going to be pushing into one forearm so that your hip rolls. And then you'll push into the other forearm, so then you slightly roll the other way. So you're using your arms to do this. And do you feel when you're applying pressure down through your arms, how it's taking you to one side or the other? So you're doing a little bit of that shifting, a little bit of that releasing. And now come to the point where you're centered again, where your hips feel level and where there's equanimity between each arm. And then once you discover where that is, you can either rest in prayer hands if you need to stay lifted, or you can bow completely to the third eye. Some people like to stack the arms or fists to provide a headrest. And you can also go there. Even if you spill down, if you find that your breath is off or the sensation grows too much, you can always back away. Close your eyes. Turn to your breath and maximize the breath. Increase that inflow of oxygen. And then completely into the lungs back out. Deliberately try to slow down your breath so that you're taking deeper sips. Allowing for the full out breath to occur. Notice what changes between the in-breath and the out-breath. Do you feel your body rising somewhere on your inhale and descending somewhere on your exhale? Does the sensation pipe up more on the in-breath or the out-breath? I'm posing these questions just to keep you attentive. Building your focus. Now on your next inhalation, let's slowly begin to lift the head of the chest. Let's walk the hands towards our own self. And then when you come about here, where the hands are aligned close to that left knee, you're going to apply pressure, just like we were doing through the forearms, through both shin bones. So as you push down through your feet, shins, and knees, track your hands that are more alongside your hips onto the fingertips so that you're pressing down through the parts of your body touching the floor, and you're lifting through the pelvic floor, lifting through your navel, lifting through your breastbone, lifting through your crown. And if your hands actually float, maybe uplifting the arms and stretching out the spine. From upward pigeon, you can melt back down with the pelvic floor, send the hands forward of the knee, shoulder distance apart, curl the back toes under, and you're going to step into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Set your feet side by side, but with a few inches between the big toes. From here, you're going to inhale, lift the left leg up. And you're going to scissor, 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 pointing the toes, bending the top knee, spiraling through the upper body so that you're looking up underneath the left arm, basically turning in such a way that you're coming into downward scorpion. Now press into your hands, straight down through your arms, and then unwind the twist and lower the left foot. When you're ready, draw the right knee and shin behind your hands. Slide your left leg back. Walk it down to the forearms, unless you need to flip onto your back, of course. Once you have the knee in the right position and your hips fairly lined up, you're going to rock from one forearm to the next, several times over. I think this is important to go over every once in a while, because sometimes when I look out at the room, someone is flopping to one side or the other, and you want to even it out. Now even it out. Sense how it feels. And then you can prop out a prayer hands or stacked arms, or melt all the way down to the earth. Allowing yourself to give in to gravity, to submit all of your weight, and to release any resistance or holding. Breathing slowly and deeply. Paying attention to each and every occurrence that is happening within. In breath, let's slowly begin to lift away. Cautiously walking the hands in, and pressing through your shins, pressing through your feet, drawing up Mula Bandha, that's the root lock, drawing up to the belly, that's the belly lock. Maybe floating the hands and lifting them up, balancing and breathing. And then exhale, release the hands. Curl the back toes, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once you come here, now we're facing dog, planting both feet on the floor, but pressing through the hands and the feet, and then lifting your seat as high as possible. So the heels may actually levitate higher to do so. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, point the toes, bend the top knee, create your downward scorpion. Be cautious with your inner left thigh. Now press into your hands, straighten your arms more, and then unwind your hips and land your right foot as well as your knees. Once you land the knees to tabletop, slide your right leg out. And notice your hands may be off because we came from down dog. So walk your left hand back to stack up underneath your left shoulder, root down and sweep the right arm out and up towards the heavens above. Taking stargazer pose, glue down your right foot, tighten through the right knee. And now focus on the barrel of the chest and see if you can dial the heart more towards the sky. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Slowly lean back like you're going towards child's pose. Stop at any point along the way if your left knee gives you any grief. Breathing into the right hamstrings and into the adductor muscles on the inside of your thigh. And then inhale, rock up. Exhale, land your right knee. Inhale, extend your left leg, plant the foot. Locate your right wrist underneath the right shoulder and spiral the left arm skyward. Still grounding through the right side of the body. but turning a little bit more through your chest. The left arm will come with. Please don't yank it back. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, lower the left hand as well as the left knee. All right, we're gonna bring it up to the top of the mat. So come to downward facing dog just long enough to baby step the feet forward towards the top of the mat. When you arrive to the top of the mat, go ahead and hunker down, hinge for your hips, folding your body in half to Uttanasana. Gravitate the heart a little lower towards your knees and shins. Loosen up your neck. Since we're face down, let's take a cleansing breath in through your nose. Blow it out through the mouth. Affirming nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back from building my own faith. Inhale, root down, circle the arms to your sides and up overhead. You're gonna lace your fingers above, roll the wrists skyward, and keep both feet firmly planted on the ground. So notice when you really drill the feet down, it's gonna activate the lower body. Noticing what you're doing with your hands is really activating the upper body. And then exhale, circle the hands to come to Samasthiti. All right, from here, look straight ahead with your eyes. And then when you're ready, inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, pour down to your Uttanasana, you're standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, take your plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, bloom the heart up into up dog. Exhale, roll back into down dog. All right, from here, we're gonna inhale, lift the right leg just halfway up. Now, power down through the palms and stretch back through your right leg. The ankle is flexed, your hips stay even. So think about how we were evening up the hips for pigeon. You're doing the same thing here. All right, on your exhalation, you're coming into cheetah, nose towards knee, shoulders over hands. Inhale, power back, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, cheetah, activating your core. One more, inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch in. Now keep your shoulders over your hands, but lift your head up. Slide your right foot through your left limbs and pause on the outside of the foot. Drive your heart forward so you're forming more of a plank instead of down dog with your hips. Now feeling the IT band, hopefully. Slide your right foot higher towards your left hand. Spin down to your left foot. Fly the left arm skyward, rock star pose. And from rock star pose, we're gonna start to lift the toes, turn to the heels, and land our seat to the floor. I know, I threw you off. Separate your legs and really flex your feet. Take your right arm skyward and you're gonna twist over to the left side. Don't worry if you reach your foot or not, just do the best you can. Keep pressing down to your thigh bones. Inhale, bring the right arm up. Exhale, lower the right hand. Inhale, left arm reaches high. Exhale, you're turning your left rib cage and navel over towards your right leg. Shooting out over to that side. Again, pushing down through your thigh bones, reaching out through your heels. Inhale, left arm up with your torso. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, twist again. Pouring over to the left side. Good, inhaling up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, cross over to the right. Breath staying nice and full. We're doing one more. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist over to the left side. Notice if your body's starting to warm up and get a little bit more limber. If not, we still have time. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, lower that hand. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, cross over to the right. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, both arms out to the sides, shoulder height, and start to fold forward, right in between. So your hands can land to plant your thighs, your hands can land to root your shins, and your hands can also land on top of your toes. So it just depends on what's available. Where do you feel secure? Where do you feel confident in your ability? Not about how far you go, it's about what's manageable and how well you can breathe through it. Affirming here as you hold Konasana, I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for more growth. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, your right hand's gonna plant facing the front of the room. You're gonna turn to the edges of the feet to rise up to rock star. And then you're gonna land your left hand and set both feet back plank. Take as much time as you need to for that transition if you've never done it before. Rock forward, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. And exhale, roll it back to downward facing dog. Make sure there's not too much separation between the feet. Keep shining the hips up, up, up and away. You got it. And then inhale, we're moving to the left side. Left leg will lift halfway up. Ekapada, that means one foot or one leg. Square the hips. And then exhale, cheetah. If this is ever too much, you can do this from tabletop position. Inhale, still the left leg out and up. Exhale, crunch and cheetah. One more, inhale, extend your limbs, and then exhale, activate your core. Now keep that left knee drawn into the belly, but lift your head up. Slip your left foot through your right limbs and hold here. Shine the heart through, roll down with your right foot, and then take the right arm skyward. Yes, if you need to modify, lower the left knee below the hip. Listen to your body. When you're ready, let go enough so you're cautiously coming to your seat and turning up with your toes. Oh, we get to do this again. Left arm up. Exhale, cross over to the right side. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower that hand like a dance. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, cross over to the left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower the hands. Continue this process. Let it be a moving, breathing meditation. The next time you come up, separate your arms out like a T and exhale, fold straight down the middle. Hands to the thighs, shins, or feet. There's a yin way to approach the pose, and there is a yang way to approach the pose. And since this is blissful, we're activating the legs, powering down through the thighs, flexing out through the ankles, spreading open through the toes. Firming in your mind. I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for further growth. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left hand points to the front of the room. And then you turn onto your feet, right arm up, rock star. Right hand down, left foot back. You're returning to plank. Shift forward or down to chaturanga. You can always land your knees first. Opening into up dog or any other back bend. And exhale, down dog.
From downward facing dog, we're gonna travel the feet to the front again, however you want to arrive, lifting halfway up when you do, and then spill back over. Inhale, climb up to the top. Place your hands above. Roll the wrists up in the air. And then power down through the soles of your feet. Roll your thighs in. Slide up to your side waist. Feel the concave area at the top of your belly. And the strength building in your back. Exhale, hands to heart. Something simple, right? We can do that any time of the day, anywhere we are, just to wake up a little bit. All right, inhale, arms sweep. Exhale, fold. In and halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, let's take plank. Let's move through the vinyasa, lowering on the out breath. Back bending on the in breath. Forward fold on the out breath. Now that we're here in downward facing dog, I want you to lift the right leg halfway up. As you exhale, your right knee is going to come to the outside of the right arm as you shift forward. And then inhale, taking the right leg up. Exhale, right knee to the outside of the right arm. We're doing 3, one more. Again, you can do this from tabletop if it's too much from downward facing dog. This time when you inhale, sell the right leg back. Your right foot is gonna come through the left limbs again. Slide your right foot up. Turn onto the base of your left foot, fly the left arm skyward, and then exhale, sit back down. Just like we did before, except we're gonna change it this time. The arms are out like a T. We're gonna helicopter the right arm over to the left, keeping the left hand up behind us. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, helicopter over to the right. Continue this. Make sure you're flowing with breath and not just all about movement. The synchronization with breath will bring you to the state of yoga. This time when you inhale up, we're not going to fold through the middle. We're going to take the right hand down. We're going to come out the same way we entered in. Cautiously returning to plank. All right, shifting forward, lowering down to that little push up, rising up to stretch the vertebrae, and rolling back over the feet. Let's all take a cleansing breath to reset. Breathe in through the nose, blow it out through the mouth. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, left knee to the outside of the left arm. Good, inhale, send it back. Exhale, draw it to the outside of the arm. One more. This is gonna make sense a little later. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, you're gonna send that foot through the right limbs. Rolling down to the right foot, flying the right arm up, and then slowly sitting down. Arms out, helicopter left arm to the right foot. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, twist to the other. And keep that going. Notice the difference already with the repetition. Hopefully your body is adapting and opening to the sequence. Good, next time you come up, land your left hand, carry yourself into rock star, transition, take your time to plank, taking this final vinyasa for the sun's out. Hanging out upside down for a moment. Allowing this to purify the mind, to calm and cool the nervous system. Inhale, traveling the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to get there. And then exhale, drop back in. Inhale to the top. Hands lace, wrist lift, feet plant. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, we're doing one more sun out. All right, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Inhale, create some space. Exhale, decrease that space. Inhale, we're taking plank. We're going through that first vinyasa. And then once you've arrived here in downward facing dog, and take a moment just to breathe. All right, we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, we're going to step that foot to the outside of the right hand. All right, with the right foot to the outside of the right hand, I want you to think about how we get into chaturanga. Remember how we shift forward with the whole body? So you're going to shift forward and you're going to bend the elbows just like you would in chaturanga, but you're going to carry the right knee with you as you flex and float the right foot in the air. And then right foot back, and you can lower to your belly. Can you try it?
My arms cannot hold me.
I like so your knee's just kind of squeezing into your arm, and you flex and float the foot.
If it's too hard, it's okay, just try.
So you balance on your feet.
Yeah, so what you do, it's just like chaturanga, the same arm movement, except you're shifting and lifting the foot.
I can tell that my arms aren't gonna hold it.
There you go, you did it. See?
Did you hear her self-talk? It came out verbally. Same thing as, I don't have hips, right? You were saying you didn't think you had the strength, and you may not, but if you're saying that to yourself, you're already questioning. So have the faith. Okay? All right, take child's pose. Now I want you to affirm mentally within, I have faith in myself. I have faith in my confidence. I have faith in my strength. I have faith in my capabilities. I have a strong sense of faith. Inhale, rock up, hands and knees. Second side may be harder or easier. So launch into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of your left hand. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna shift forward, flex and float the foot and see if we can carry it with. And then step back and you can lower to the belly. After that.
Where the knee stands.
It just squeezes into the arm. You're just allowing it to connect and mold together. Just keep the knee connected to the arm. It doesn't weigh down the arm as much as you think.
Yeah.
And it is possible with the clothing you have on, it could be too slick, it may slide. All right, so come to a prone position onto your belly. All right, now earlier we were rocking with the forearms. Right now, I want you to rock with your hips. Shimmy the hips from side to side. All right, now lift and lengthen each leg and glue them closer together And notice when your feet are really pressing down, your kneecaps are actually lifting up. Slide your hands beside your shoulders onto the wood floor. Rest on your finger pads and fly the elbows up. And press into the fingertips as you rise to a king cobra. And elongate your neck so your head's not shrinking down in this manner. You're being bold, deliberate, fearless. And then exhale, gently lower. Now slide your hands up underneath your shoulders. Push up to table. Curl the back toes, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk or travel the feet forward to the top of the mat. Lifting up halfway. And then exhale, release. Inhale to the top. We've been working with the hands a lot today. Lace them, roll them skyward. Be here. Now, keep the rooting of your feet, the engagement of your thighs, that lift in your abdomen. At the same time, slowly release your arms. Keeping the activation of the legs, the activation of the core, the upliftment of the chest. And when you lower your arms down, are you standing differently? Because we often just, right? We tend to tuck the tailbone. We send the hips forward. We tend to shroud the heart. But notice with this opening, with this posture, the confidence, the strength, the sense of faith that stems from the heart, and allow this to make your inner body feel bright. Inner body's not bright here. It's defeated here. It's bright here. Okay, now you may not get this bright in the next pose, even though we're gonna try, okay? We're gonna ground the left foot. And we're gonna lift the right knee. I think this is gonna be safe for you guys because you all did the regular pigeon. You're holding the outside of the right knee with your right hand, and you're gonna scoop under your left foot with your left hand. Now, it's basically a standing form of pigeon. So you're trying to lift and bring the shin in towards the upper body, and you may be able to keep the upper body feeling bright here. If you cradle your arms, you're not going to feel that inner body bright necessarily. So if you cradle and lift, you may not get the perfect posture, but you're going to get a deeper hip stretch. And then release. So think about what you need more. Do you need the hip release or do you need inner body bright? Okay. And then focus on one or the other for the second side. Spread out your right foot. Lodge it down. Take the weight off your left. Find your hand hold or cradle hold. And see if you can create inner body bright. And you're gonna step it back on your mat. So we've been building up our balance. Okay, so when we took the knee to the outside of the arm, it feels really awkward, right? We're not used to bringing our knees through our other arms that way. In crow, we actually set the knees behind the arms. Now, some people do find it easier to squeeze to the outside of the arms. So I'm not going to tell you you're doing it wrong if your knees land here the same way, okay? You might be able to balance better that way. So the first thing I want you to do is separate your feet. Make sure your toes are pointed ahead. Bend the knees and sit back with your hips. Good, so Susan, do you see how your feet are turned out? Oh, turn them parallel. Yeah, sweet. Okay, now rest your elbows on your thighs. And notice how when we do this, is it just me? Or does your belly completely relax? All right, so we need the belly in. So we need to suction the belly in because we need the core strength for crow. Now, I find it easier to go into crow from this pose versus the squat, and here's why. When we get in squat, all of our weight is sinking to gravity, right? Then we gotta get the tail feathers up. Here, the tail feathers are already up. Belly in, your hands are gonna come forward of your feet, shoulder distance apart, not right at your toes, but ahead. Then I want you to create your chaturanga arm. So maybe at first do like old style push-up where they flare out and then squeeze and tuck them under like chaturanga. And then from here you lift and elevate your heels to rock your knees into the upper arms. Your whole body rocks forward. Your head is up so you can see the top edge of your mat. And then you lean forward just a tad in order to point and float the feet in the air. Again, it's okay if the knees come to the outside of the arms. For some people, that's easier. Beautiful. You might be able to fly. It's okay if you can't. Yes. Sweet. Now, if this scares you, I understand. The first time I ever did this pose was in a studio similar to this with a hardwood floor, and I fell flat on my face. I didn't get hurt, thank goodness, but I went home and had pillows in front of me and I practiced at home. So I have a soft landing. If you feel like you've got the balance, you have the confidence, you have the faith in your ability, I want you to try this, and then we're going to get off the wrist, okay? So you can try moving towards crow. Taking yourself to the crown of your head and landing here in Shirshasana 2. If you have the strength and the confidence to move into headstand, you can. I'm going quickly. You can also return here. And then you can come to child's. Don't move through the transition though, unless you have the faith and confidence in yourself. Or you can leave crow out and just go straight for the Shirshasana prep. That core, Susan, I wouldn't bounce into it because that can make you flip. And when you bounce into it, you're using the kick of your legs instead of your upper body and core. So yeah, going to the wall can prevent you from flipping. And if you're like, okay, I'm done with this, Robbie, take child's pose so I know you're ready to move on. Nice, yes. Sweet. Good. Our final version today is going to include a twist. And I think we may have done this last week, but I want to give you a demonstration first so that I can show you the mistake that I see and you can try to prevent that mistake if possible. So I know we've been on the hands a lot. So we're going to come to forearms. Now, let me show you first the elbow. Instead of the elbows being way out here, you want them stacked underneath the shoulders, and we're going to glue the hands together for this. You create kind of a cat stretch back to curl your toes to lift what's called dolphin. And then from the twist that we're going to make, we're stepping the feet over to the wood floor. But this is the mistake I often see. You see my heels slipping down, and you see there's no extension in my back. But if I'm pushing through my forearms, pressing through the balls of the feet, now do you see the hips up and the extension of the spine? Hopefully you can see the difference between that and this. And then you'll walk over to the other side and make sure you're still giving yourself that extra oomph, okay? So forearms down, hands laced, yeah, and then curl the toes, lift the knees. Dolphin is very similar to down dog. Your head stays off the floor. Good, now walk and travel your feet over to the left side. Feel the twist that's occurring. Now press through the feet, elevate your hips, extend the vertebrae. That's it. Now travel back to the other side, across the sticky mat, over to the right. Pressing through the feet, pressing through the forearms, lengthening, creating space in your back. Good, now bring the feet slowly back to the sticky mat. Come back down to your knees. And then you can slowly build up to sit. All right. I think that's enough for today. There's another arm balance that I've thought about taking us to, but I could tell the energy was tapping out. And that's okay. We don't have to fit it all in. We always think we have to fit everything in the day or in a practice, and we don't. It's okay to leave it out. So the other arm balance was going to be one leg off to the side and one leg hanging back behind. I don't even feel like doing it right now. We've had a new moon recently. I think it was a few days ago, and the energy gets lower. So we're going to honor that, and we're going to take Shavasana. Now in Shavasana, I want you to consider, has your inner body felt bright or dimmed? I know this summer, mine has felt a little dimmed, and I felt like it's brightening up again. But if that's the case for you, I would say maybe a restorative practice to really open up the heart. If you're like, I'm good in my heart, I just need to rest. Or maybe your back doesn't want to bend anymore, right? You can take the bolster under your knees. And then, of course, you have a blanket. If you didn't use it under your knees while we were on the floor, you may enjoy wrapping it over the body somewhere or even under head. Before I allow you to drift into your own state of relaxation, I want to share with you this statement from sacred scripture. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things unseen. I'm going to follow that with, when you believe in yourself, you can overcome self-doubt. When you believe in yourself, it can ignite certain psychological processes that help you to achieve your goals, manifest your dreams, and increase your well-being. For the next few moments, breathe your way into a state of bliss and connect back to the faith that you hold in yourself and in your heart. All those muscles movement. I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, depression, any unaltering thoughts. I now hand over to the hands of peace.
slowly begin to deepen the flow of your own personal breath. Begin to slowly exit out the pose that you chose. When you come up to a comfortable seat, feel free to sit on the edge of your bolster. We're going to have one hand on the belly and one hand over the heart. Our strength and confidence stems from our core. Our courage and our faith stem from the heart. When I say these statements, I want you to affirm it mentally and silently within. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my body. I have faith in my strength. I have faith in my confidence. I have faith in my abilities and capabilities. And I'm going to give you a moment of silence to create any more affirmations to follow that statement. I have faith in, you can fill in the blank. Feel the wave of the breath rolling between these 2 points. As though they're speaking and connecting with one another. You know that you have everything you need inside. Placing your palms together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I felt to tell you the inspiration behind this theme too. So I'm going to share that with you really quick. So my son's a 15-year-old, teenager, and he's always been into music. His dad's a musician. I'm a music lover. I've taken him to concerts since he was in the womb. And anytime we have a date night, that's what we do. We go to a concert. Well, now that he's a teenager, he wants to see more and more shows. And there was a local band that we got to witness a few months ago opening up for a national band that we really liked. And we noticed that they were playing at the Factory, this little place called Mockingbird Theater. It's a cute place if you've never been. And their opening band was a band we had never heard of from Florida. Now, a lot of these younger rock bands were starting to see a theme. You know how music goes through waves and their influences come through waves? The big influence right now with younger rock bands is Zeppelin. So it's really cool to see this kind of Zeppelin revival and Steven Tyler and those kind of singers that have chops, that have voices and ranges and very flamboyant on the stage and wears very like 70-ish type style clothes, like polyester rayon, like unbuttoned down to their waist. And anyway, it's kind of funny to see this kind of trend happening. And this band from Florida, when they came on stage, talk about having faith in what they were presenting. Like the guitarist comes out kind of looking like Slash with his long curly hair, platform boots on. And then the other guy comes out and he's all like in his attire with a long kind of mullet. And I'm telling you, they were entertaining. And honestly, I didn't know whether to laugh at them or to appreciate what they were bringing. And the second or third song into it, I'm like, I'm just going to appreciate because they're so confident and they're sounding really good. It's just, I haven't seen it in a while, right? So that's kind of what inspired the rock star pose that we were doing and brought in that theme of faith with that inspiration.